Hello, everybody. Amy White in Worthy Written Words, and today we are in our wide margin Doctrine and Covenants in chapter 52, and this is a double page layout. We're going to start by putting a piece of scrap paper underneath our page, and we're going to use some clear gesso and a foam brush and a napkin. All that's part of your kit. Now, before we can start gluing this napkin down, we need to remove all of the extra ply that is attached to it. We want it to be down to its basic layer. So I'm cutting off all this excess that we don't need, and then I'm going to peel off the backing of this section because there's two sheets and we want it to only have one sheet. And you can just throw all that excess away. Now I'm going to be cutting up the napkin graphics and laying them out on my page to see where I want to put them. Usually napkins are very forgiving, and if you have white hanging around the borders, it kind of blends in with the page. So I was just very haphazardly cutting these out, but when I glue them down, I felt like they weren't as forgiving as I wanted them to be, so maybe be a little bit more cautious about cutting yours out like right up against the lines if you don't want to see any excess white, like you can see in mine when this is all over. And in fact, I went back with a razor blade and tried to remove some of that excess. So I'm telling you at the beginning to just be a little bit more careful. Each napkin is different, and a lot of times you won't know how it's going to be until you start working with it. This one's just thicker than normal napkins. And because this one is thicker, it means that you're going to be using a lot more clear gesso to make sure it all stays down as well. So cut them out, lay them out on your page where you want them, and then we're going to use the clear gesso and put it all over the pages as just a base layer, and then we're going to lay the napkin on top of the clear gesso, and then we're going to put clear gesso, another layer on top of the napkin to seal it all in. Now the topper for this page is really big, and I just couldn't find any smaller, and I loved them so much I couldn't resist getting these. So you put the box together, it comes pre-folded, and so you just assemble it, but see how it's really wide at the top? Just keep that in mind. So we take the twine and we're gonna wrap it around it twice, but we gotta put the little world charm on there. So we put the charm on, wrap the twine around the box twice, and then we're going to tie a knot on the back side. And then we're going to hot glue that so that it all sticks together in place. Now the problem with it being wide is that it's going to be really hard to make it fit at the top of your page if you already have a lot of page toppers in your book like I do. If it's a brand new D&C that you're working with, it may not be as big a deal, but for me it was kind of hard to fit it in. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut a hole in the bottom of the box instead of putting the paper clip on the back side. The reason I'm going to do this is so that it's got like half of the width is on the front end and half of the width is on the back end instead of all of it being on the front end. So if you take a look at your book and where your page toppers are, it might work out better for you to have it going all in the back end or all in the front end. So you're going to just have to figure out what you want to do and where you're going to want to place it. So I just put a little hole with an exacto knife in the middle and covered the hole with hot glue for my glue gun, and then I'm shoving the paper clip in there and letting it dry. You can do this, or you can glue it onto the back of the box like I normally do with page toppers. Once that's dry, I'm going to put that at the top of my page, and I'm going to secure it in place using the washi tape. Now don't worry if your page is curling like mine is, it'll eventually flatten back out as it dries more. Now using a blue Madliner highlighter, I'm going to outline every time it says preach by the way, and it's on both sides of the page. It's in verse 10 and it's also on the other side in several verses. So that's what this page is about. It's about going to serve your purpose in the world, and as you're doing that, to preach the gospel by the way, which we can all do. And you don't have to do this in blue. You could choose a different color from this layout. You could do red or green or cream even. And then we're going to add a sticker, this quote sticker on the right side margin. Depending on where you put your page topper will also determine where the sticker goes, how high up it's going to go. Since mine's on the far right side, mine's going to go all the way down. And I'm also highlighting some of my favorite part of this quote in the same exact mod liner highlighter as before. And then this page is going to be done. I hope you guys really had a good time doing this napkin page kit with me. And be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.